Full disclosure.
They knew exactly
It's a
what
good
you
story.
had on you.
I don't think I've ever told this story in public, but I was at this house party and I was so young. I got on all this shit when I was just a baby, you know?
Yeah.
And someone had like got a vial of ketamine. They cooked the whole thing up and they had a pile of it on the table. And I'm thinking I'm fucking Tony Montana, you know? I'm a little kid who just thought he was fucking everything, you know? I'm invincible, you know? So I walk in, I'm like, they're like, you want one? I'm like, sure. And I do this fucking rat's tail worth of it. And I walk into the garage.
Look at AJ right now.
I walk into the garage and one of my friends is just laying on the concrete, just fucking face down. I look at my friend Lauren, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with James?
Oh, no.
And she's like, oh, baby, he's in a K-hole. And I'm like, what the fuck is a K-hole? And she was like, oh, it's this drug, ketamine, and it's a tranquilizer, and yeah, it's pretty crazy shit. And I was like, well, I just did a giant rail of cocaine that was on the table in there, you know? I'm fucking Tony Montana.
Yep.
You want to play with me?
Yep.
I did a big fucking rail, you know? So she's like, baby, that wasn't cocaine in there.
Yeah.
That was ketamine. And I'm like,
damn. We'll see you guys later. If you guys need anything, my records are right over there. I'm gonna take a nap.
That's some real Atlanta shit right there, man.
So
that happens a lot often than you think.
I was so deep. I probably weighed 135 pounds wet.
Oh, no.
And I did this pinky-sized rail of this shit, not knowing what the fuck it was, being completely just irresponsible, and I couldn't speak. I was fully conscious, but I lost all motor skills. So I was
For how long?
Hours. But I was a puddle, and I'm laying upside down on this chair.
Is that dangerous? Can you OD on that shit?
I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I guess your heart could stop from tranquilizer. I mean, if you overdosed on it, and it was fresh. They had just like pulled it out of the oven. They busted the vial and all that
madness,
craziness.
Yeah.
So I'm watching. I'm looking up at the DJ booth, which was on the second story of this house, at this house party, and I look up and I see my green crate of records walking down the stairs.
No.
And I had a homegirl with me who was like watching over me, making sure I was good, making sure I wasn't, you know, kirking out and just foaming at the mouth or something. And I'm like, and she's like, what? Like, what? I don't know what you're saying, baby. I'm like, my record. You know, like I can't speak. I have like my tongue. It feels like I have like a horse tongue in my mouth. I just can't get words out. And so I just watched all my records just peel out the door, and I lost all of them. I had to just hide the fact from my parents that like all my shit got jacked because I did some drug. I had no clue what it was.
Yeah. And
yeah, so those records are long gone. We found out who did it, and we tried to get them back, but never quite got any of those back. But I persevered. I saved up my lawn mowing money, and I bought some more records down at Satellite and Rewind, and bought some new needles, bought some new headphones, because all that was in there in the crate. And yeah, just push forward again.
The school threw on the show. It was like supposed to be big, and we got there. I think 4 people showed up, and it was honestly I was just like jumping up and down, like having a great time. There was a huge hockey playoff game that night, and everyone was at the game, and they didn't show up. But we flew all the way out there. You know, it was like super hyped up, and we got there, and the production was incredible. It was great. Yeah. But we were playing for us and like 4 dudes who were like, dude, play Born Ready remix. I was like,
oh man.
I think the most fun I've had, that's a tough question. The most memorable one, honestly, for me, probably, I wouldn't say the most fun, but the most memorable one was my first show with Halogen. We opened up for a sold-out knife party show at the Tabernacle.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was my first show.
Your first show?
Yeah, ever.
What did you play?
I went from playing for kids at the Quad to the Tabernacle sold-out knife party.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was interesting. I remember I had no sense of fashion. I was wearing like baggy jeans and like a cut-off middle school band T-shirt. Yeah. And I literally walked up and Alex was like, "That's what you're wearing?" I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna roll with it. He's like, all right, well, I'm second guessing like this whole halogen thing, but you should change.
You know,
I
gold
was like, no,
suit.
dude, it'll be cool, cause like, you know what I mean? Like, it'll be cool, cause people are like, it's middle school band, and they're like, no, it's not cool, and please change.
I just want everyone to get a fact check here. Josh looks ripped in the photo from that show.
Yeah, I do look ripped
Fantastic.
in the picture.
Soccer, were you playing
I
soccer
did
then?
not Photoshop that at all. Yeah, that was. I don't know how many people listen to this. Someone's probably gonna steal it, but
He will.
my idea is
For sure,
at
look
a
at
certain
it.
point, everyone's like trying to think about like what's new, what can you do at shows. Everyone always has the LEDs and all the stuff coming at you or from above, but no one's done it from below. And I think that if you get a dance floor that is see-through and you put that out, like I don't know, in a club,
That
or
would be
like
cool.
in
No.
a venue,
100%.
and have all the LEDs or the strobes coming up from below you.
That's got to be a thing. If it's not,
I
need to,
I feel like when
take
you
some
come up with a
credit.
good idea,
What's
like right when
today's
you come
date?
up with that
March
good idea.
1st, 2019. We'll see when that first
That's
one
what I'm
goes,
saying.
and you'll be like, dude, we documented
I
it right
think
there.
that like when you come up with a good idea like this, it's like someone comes up with that idea like across the world, and it's like now you race against the clock. You gotta beat them.
There's a term for that, actually.
No, there's not.
There is.
No, there's not.
When you're on the same. I can't remember what it is, though. My memory's not the best either. But no, that's a good idea. I always thought a good idea, too, for a DJ would be, you know how there's a USB, like, jack in the mixer at the top? I think it would be great to have a USB, like, gooseneck cooling plate, like keeps, like, your nuts, like, cold. You can just put them on the plate to keep it, like, really cold, you know, because it gets really
Patent
hot.
pending, guys.
It gets really hot in there, you know?
Yeah.
So
No, I feel
think
you.
That would be a good idea. You could brand it.
Yeah. As seen on TV, you
With
should
the cooling plate.
get that marketed out.
Pioneer.
I
Check
don't-
us out.
I don't know what the
I
niche.
think it just threw you off there.
No, I mean, no. It's just
I like to fuck
picturing it.
around, dude.
Yeah, no,
don't
I
like-
got it. You just the hand motions you were doing was very interesting.
That's the gooseneck because it's in the top of the mixer. You know, it just you have to have like kind of the gooseneck going.
Right.
It's very important.
There needs to be like a specific tool to use. You know how they would play like long sets, like people play like 8-hour sets or something
I wonder
ridiculous.
how many people
just,
just
like,
turn this
There
off.
needs to be. I know, right? This is after hours, guys. No, there has to be like a thing that allows DJs to like quickly go to the bathroom. You know, if there's not a
That
bathroom.
is for
there
real.
needs to be like a porta
Mhm.
DJ potty or something, like right behind.
A curtain. that
Yeah,
just,
like something-
raises up
something-
a button on
Especially
the mixer.
for like the big shows. I know you got to be prepared. But there's always times. I remember there was one time where it was like I can't remember who it was. He was playing a huge festival, and he just like ran to the bathroom in the middle of a set, and people were like, "Dude, like
Where'd he go? Yeah, you
supposed to
gotta
be-
pee because
you
you're
gotta be up-
drinking.
yeah.
Do you drink alcohol while you play?
I do, got to get loose, bro."
Really good.
You're
at
playing
this.
tonight. How many?
I mean, I grew up in a very musical family. My mom's a singer. My dad's a bass player. My grandmother's a piano player and a singer. My mom's twin brother is a recording artist, and like our happy birthdays at our family are like in 4-part harmonies. Like it's
You
really
never told me your mom had a twin brother.
I know.
Yeah.
How could you not
No,
tell us
I
that?
actually didn't know that either.
it just doesn't come up. It's like, hey, what's up, man? Hey, yo, do you know my mom has a twin brother? Doesn't really like come up
I
in
feel
conversation.
that though.
But yeah, so I grew up around a lot of like gospel and Christian and jazz music. So, I always had an ear for that, and being around the band and always going to like choir practices and stuff like that. I learned really quick just listening to like the choir like directors, like, oh, this is how you should sing this part, and this is how you layer melodies, and this is how you harmonize, and this, and like seeing how a band like communicates with each other to go to the next part of the song, and learning choruses and verses. Like I learned that just by being around it, not so much studying it. It was like subliminal like learning. It was weird.
Yeah.
So it's like the whole point of this tour is to feel like a summer camp, and like I want to take all these experiences, take them home, reflect,
Yeah.
and then write.
I'm gonna
You know what
take
I
this
mean?
experience and bring it together. We've had lots of
Oh,
ideas,
we've
like
had,
voice
definitely,
memos
like
and
we
stuff.
write
and,
we
like-
write a
Yeah.
lot of ideas so we can bring them back home, but we'll never finish a whole track. I don't think
Hey, we even set up studios like in
full studios
all over the
like
place.
all over the place, and we'll get like a bass line and drums.
We'll
and, like,
definitely
like,
like,
let's
we'll
have
play
some fun-
around.
let's
like,
we'll
go.
play around, have fun, and just to get that creative
Yeah.
outlet, and just like release it, and then be like, all right, well that was fun. All right, let's go check out
Oh,
what Columbus,
Columbus has
Ohio has.
Columbus has a river. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go check that shit.
Like it was just like
This feels like a rock tour. Like we have changeovers. We have the song ends like, and people clap, and it's cool, and like like
There's room to breathe.
there's room to breathe, and
Well, I'm
I've-
excited as fuck to be in the front row, high as balls, watching.
There's room to breathe, but also not to breathe. I'm just kidding.
yeah,
No,
just
but,
don't
like,
breathe, just the whole
pretty
show,
hot.
hold your breath.
You'll make it. You got this.
So since this is the bad habits tour, we're gonna start with you, Daniel. Going around, what's your bad habits?
Oh, wow.
Definitely sleeping in, and that when I wake up and I don't eat, I get a little like just like hangry.
Yeah.
Hangriness, yeah,
Hey.
hangriness.
Hangriness is, I think, a bad habit.
That's a
'Cause you
bad habit.
control it.
I mean, you
it's
could
a
eat.
real thing.
Oh,
Hangry
yeah.
is a real thing.
You definitely
And
can
on tour,
control
you
it.
probably can't always get the food that you want, or am
You're
I
gonna get
wrong?
food, period, man.
Bro,
He's eating cheese sticks right now, my guy. It sucks because like most of the places that we do play at, like everything closes before the show ends,
Right.
so we're like screwed.
Yeah.
Or we have to have McDonald's, which we're not gonna do. So
we had McDonald's
just
last
die.
night.
We're just like, guess I'll die. Like, just one of those things. I mean, yeah.
Paige, bad habits.
It's weird. All the things I would say are bad habits are things that if I didn't do them, I feel like I wouldn't be experiencing life properly. Like,
Right.
like my bad habits, like, I might smoke a little too much, but that, like, honestly, like on tour, like personally, I get anxiety, and some people get anxiety, and smoking a little bit after a show, like, just really helps me. And even like just smoking and being able to hang out with people and experiencing like walking to a river or whatever, like those moments are like irreplaceable. So yeah, they're bad habits, but
So we didn't get to your bad habit.
I don't have any bad habits. I'm perfect. So.
Okay, so okay is on the bad habits.
I'm just
tour.
kidding.
Boom.
Yo, so I like bite my nails a lot. I fall in love way too quick, and like I don't know, I sleep in really hard too. Oh, and I only eat once a day, so there's that.
And he loves
that might
Chipotle.
not-
you do.
I
sleep
love
really hard.
He literally eats
Chipotle.
Chipotle.
Yeah,
He'll like
every-
wake up and be like
Oh,
Chipotle.
There's something about again like that consistent. It's like, oh yeah, I know exactly what I'm getting. It's
Yeah.
fast. I don't have to wait around
Dude,
and like
I'm
pay for
I
a
ate
check.
Chipotle.
Chipotle. That was the I eat like
Yeah, dude,
dude, I
Chipotle's
eat
the shit.
Chipotle all the
And
time.
when I walk into the Chipotle, it reminds me of home because it's like the one thing that's consistent.
That
Oh, it smells the
surprises-
same
what
all the
is
time.
your ethnicity?
I'm Mexican.
So that surprises me because I know a lot of Mexicans from San Diego and they don't like Chipotle.
That's
it's
because you
not
have
like-
other. You live in San Diego. You know what else is there.
Yeah.
And it's 24 hours.
Yeah,
like
but-
all
okay,
Mexican
so when
food
you're
in
on
San
the road,
Diego.
you kind of gotta go be.
But I like
consistent.
Chipotle just because like it's not bad food. You know?
Chipotle's
Do you
amazing.
feel
It's
like
great.
guacamole should be $2 extra or for free?
I don't like guac.
I love
$2
guac.
extra. They gotta make their money.
Yeah, man.
Sweet,
Guac
man.
ain't-
Well,
you know Jason Mraz supplies the avocados for all of Chipotle.
Really?
Yeah, he has an avocado farm.
Wow.
More you know.
Dude.
you heard it
The
here
more-
first. on the Liquified podcast.
That is
Jason
some
Mraz.
facts.
Cheers.
online and stuff. And I think a great way to really make a name for yourself is by playing your own music in sets. And I think just like constructing these sets of journeys of your own stuff, that's what stands out to me. Like when I'm seeing, artists who are playing sets and it's full of their own music and there's a lot of cool stuff, I'll hit them up and like maybe work on a track with them or something. Like I'm constantly just like surveying the landscape for that. Like someone who can create not, as Jono once told me, it's like not one, Jono from Above and Beyond, sorry, I have to clarify. He looks for people not who can create one record or two like really big records and then it's like they can't really follow that up. You want someone who can create like 10 amazing records and then 20 amazing records and 30, and you just know every time they're going to touch something, it's going to be really, really good. And that's what I keep my eye out for when I'm like looking for people to, work with or whatever. I've worked with some people who are completely undiscovered because I just see the unbelievable talent and then help them.
Are you more of a? Do you enjoy the music making process more? Do you enjoy the performance aspect of it? Do you enjoy the whole everything?
I obviously love making the music. I think for me, it's one and the same. It's the same thing for me. Like I make the music to play at a show, and I love playing shows. It's like separately, I always made music all my life, but I also took up DJing when I was like 12 or 13 because I would go to like these, like 7th grade parties and the music the guys were playing at the party, I would just hate. I'm like, I could do this way better than these guys. So
A
that's why
really
I took
cool
it.
like persona, like puffing clouds. I love it.
Yeah. I like
What's
to
in the
puff.
vape, dude?
I like the.
What's in the vape?
You would like to know, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Actually, it's CBD e-liquid.
And what flavor?
It's Kentucky Punch. That's what it's called.
Whoa, that sounds like a sex move. Where do you get this stuff?
I get it from this site called CBDonly.com. They're just this like a CBD superstore.
Cool.
And they have everything. Yeah, and you know, I've been into the kind of the vaping, thing, and I wanted to at least take the healthy route for it, so I got the CBD.
Totally.
I kind of mixed it. It's like a little mixture.
What are some benefits of CBD? I hear that name tossed around a bit, but like, what's it good for?
So CBD, if anyone doesn't know, it's part of the cannabis plant, right? I think there's a whole bunch of cannabinoids that are in the plant, like THC, CBD, CNA, CNN, ABC. It's like a broadcast network inside the plant, And CBD is the one that provides a lot of medical benefits in terms of, I think, pain, inflammation, anxiety, a lot of things like that. So it kind of soothes the soul when you ingest it. I like it.
Do you ever get anxiety before shows?
I get anxiety kind of just occasionally. I think it's just part of always wanting to.
Part of 2019.
It's always part of 2019 and trying to be productive and handling a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. I think the world is experiencing an overwhelming amount of anxiety compared to what it was probably 30 years ago. I feel that. What gives you anxiety?
I don't know. I think it's just the thought of always needing to get the next thing done, right? And if I'm not getting anything done, I get anxiety. I'm just like, am I progressing?
Do you go through that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That'll be a fun story. Do you remember? Okay, we're on the subject of anxiety. You wouldn't even remember this, but we played a roller skating rink together 10 plus years ago for Brian Dyer.
Oh my God, yeah.
Okay, so I had to play after you, and you just destroyed the place. Okay, and so I'm in the back with my I'm like, oh shit, I have to follow this guy. Like, I'm really thinking that, and this was probably the most. It wasn't the biggest crowd I had played at the time, but it was the highest level of energy that I was about to have to go keep up.
I remember that night.
Because you just slayed it down. And
that was a fun night.
You were on Beatport and you were real hot. And so I played after you. There's probably a picture we could put up in here of that. Actually, make a note. We're going to put that picture. Don't put it up. I'm just saying put it for later. I want to add it into the feed. But Brian comes back and he's like, hey, dude, are you ready to go? And at that point, I had looked out because I was behind the curtain, and then I had looked out. I mean, there was a bounce house 200 yards in the back.
Yep, I remember that.
And the kids were just going crazy. It was absolutely a rave. And he's like, you ready to go? And I had looked up and I saw what I was about to have to go do. And I kind of started, I don't at all get stage fright before shows, because now I prepare for them, so I don't have to worry about when I'm actually playing. I already know what I'm going to do. I don't arrange my tracks perfectly, but I know what I'm going to do. So,
yeah.
But at the time, I even kind of planned it out, but man, I had anxiety. And so you're playing your last song and everyone is going crazy. I'm I'm shaking. I literally can't feel my hands. So I start clapping above my head to your song, but it was to get feeling back in my hands. And so
no way.
Yeah, and that was back before Jump Drive. So I had a book of CDs on the thing, and I'm opening up my CD to find one to put in the CD player, and I finally put it in. I can't remember if I mixed into your track. I think I did. I think I played a Wolfgang song, and I was it was the perfect one, and it clicked, and all the anxiety went away immediately, and then I just got into party mode. And the thing that stands out to me the most about that show is that the stage was rocking so hard. I've told this story a lot, even on shows before, but the turntables were rocking so hard that the pitch bend, I couldn't use my fingers to adjust it enough. I literally held my hand stable so it would rock into my hand to move the pitch thing up.
What?
Yeah, to like adjust the pitch, I held it
Oh my
because the
gosh.
whole thing was just like coming down.
Yep.
But
Yep.
so that was a show, and then we played another show like probably 2 years later in San Bernardino. And this was a significant show too because Brian bought brand new CDJ Pioneer Nexus turntables and a mixer. It was like $6,000. He goes in there, he opens up, and then it was going to be Stillwell, and then I played, and then it was you. And in the first song, Brian jumps up on the stage and tries to like jump off on the drop and kicks the whole setup over. Music
whole
stops.
thing?
Music stops. CDJs break, and it's like the kid at this rave. It was like one of those weird parties where like the doors open and it's like there's no people filing in. It's like everyone's outside waiting to come in.
Everyone's
Doors
bum
open.
rushing in.
Boom. It's like already like a party immediately as soon as the music goes on. So he jumps off on like the first song on the drop,
Oh my
and the
God.
CDJs break, and like probably 20 minutes of us fidgeting around. Like the link broke, so where you put the drive in, like they all link up. But so we had to like copy drives and like put them in all of them.
Brand new.
Brand new. So he returned them. He's like, these things are broken, man. What the fuck, man? So he like exchanged them. But
Yeah,
we went
and-
out there. That's where I proposed.
No way, really?
Yeah,
That's
in
awesome. We
Brisbane
went
on
to
the
the
bridge.
rainforest.
Yeah.
They have like
Yeah.
2 hours outside of that.
Mhm.
So awesome.
Did you see
Yeah, it's
any
beautiful.
cool animals and that you could sample in your tunes? Did you go out there with a mic and
I
sample
should have.
real shit?
I should have.
Like a kookaburoo?
They have all-
Punch him in the
have all
face and
types of
record it, and
animals
then you'd be like, Cazztek gets kookaburus to feature in his tracks, man. This guy's on a whole nother level, bro.
featuring Kookaburoo. I don't know. PETA might come after me and sue me for that, for copyright infringement.
Call that
of
one
nature.
Kentucky. Much. I mean, how do you prepare yourself for? I mean, you're working with Shaq, dude. That's like, you're not gonna stop right now. You're going to keep doing this.
Yeah.
Have you put any kind of plans into place for like, making sure you're like, cool and
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, it comes down to, first of all, like knowing your weaknesses. So I don't do any drugs or smoke or anything, but I do drink. So that's automatically the thing that if you're honest with yourself, okay, whatever it is, you just look at, you're like, all right, that's a problem thing. Make sure it doesn't get out of control. And then secondly, because the first person that has to understand anything, like, because not that they're all the same, but these are all similar things like depression, anxiety, drugs, and alcohol.
that's what I'm talking about.
They all go in with each other because they're things you have to watch out for. Also, like friends, you can put almost anything into the watch out for list. The most important thing is you, if you're the artist or whoever you are, understanding which ones you struggle with. Because if you don't understand which ones, then no one's ever going to be able to help you because you're going to deny it and be like, oh, I don't have that problem. But it's like, then, you know what I mean? So first, it literally is you. You have to understand that you have that problem or have to like look out so it doesn't become a problem. And then second, you have to just have people around you, such as like my managers or even, Jeremy, like we watch each other like, yeah, we're not going to drink tonight, or, you really have to have people around you. But it's really important in my opinion, if I didn't admit what things could become problems, no one's going to help me because I didn't even realize my own issues. So it's like, once you've come to realize which ones can be, and then you have people around you helping you with that, you're clear. Like, that's the only way I see it working. But a lot of times, like, I've seen managers and people, they just don't care. In my opinion, like, that's what happened with Vici. It's not that anybody's like this horrible person, manager, him, whatever. It's that when you're in a situation where he clearly had issues, but you get to a level where no one wants to tell you, yo, stop doing that, and everyone's too afraid to tell you stop drinking or stop doing something, that's where the issue is, because now he has no accountability. And like, that's pretty much what happens to people, in my opinion, where they just never drew a line for themselves. And that's why I'm actually kind of grateful in a weird way that I didn't blow up at like a Justin Bieber level or something, because you can clearly see like when you get too big too fast, not that I don't care, I hope people blow up fast, but I'm personally grateful of my ride being a little bit like, slower, because like along the way I've just seen all the issues of certain ways that people dealt with fame and money and music and girls and stuff. So it's like, it's really important for you to like step back and be like, oh, that they did this, that was wrong. They did that. What can I do that doesn't cause that? And it's making sure I realize, okay, drinking could be a problem. I know it. Everyone knows it. Keep me accountable. Done. And then you just do that for each part of your life, I feel like.
Yeah, being aware is definitely a giant part of keeping yourself safe, keeping good friends around you.
Yeah, 100%.
Jeremy,
Friends is a huge.
You better know what's up there, buddy.
You know what's funny is it's the Wild West out here. Like it's a place, if I go to LA or I just come from New York and Chicago, it's like you go somewhere and it's the scene is already there. So it's cool, but I like being a part of helping something.
Yeah, it is
So that's
a
the
blossoming
part about
scene
it.
here.
Yeah.
Where do you think it's going in terms of house music? And I'd like to get your opinion on where it's going in terms of hip hop, because I'm sure as much house music as you play, you're probably also a little in tune with a little bit of the hip hop that's going on here.
Actually,
I could be wrong.
I'm kind of not. And it's not particularly that's going on here. When hip hop becomes hip hop again, talking about something, then I'll be back in tune with it.
I feel you
I
there.
can't tell what people saying on these tracks.
I heard one the other day was like, it's a big hit. He's like, I'm out like a light. Like a light. I'm like, damn, there's some deep ass lyrics right there, man. How did you think of those? It's so good.
It's funny. The worst part about it.
Cool. Anyways, like when I started listening to dance music, it was cool because not that many people were listening to it. Like I would hear something on radio and I'd be like, fuck, I can't listen to that anymore.
Right.
Because it's cool now. Like I want to listen to the stuff that like no one knows,
Yeah, that's how we were. You were hyped when a DJ played a joint you never heard. Nowadays, if they hear a joint they never heard, they're like, I never heard that. I'm like, you should be feeling like you're learning something right now. But they want to only hear everything they heard.
There is those crowds. I feel like you will pull out the different crowds though. The crowds that are there for a journey, are there for.
Yeah, I don't know if they're there for a journey, but they're gonna get a journey, and it's a give and take situation, and that's why I like when I'm someplace that is very educated, because that allows me to go basically anywhere, and then I think that's total freedom, and I think that's when you can create a memorable night. Like when you leave there, you're like, wow, for me, music is the only, as far as we know, the only time travel device, because it takes you mentally in a time warp to wherever time period you were in when you heard certain songs. And I think the journey is more about that, more about just reliving just all the great moments in life, And the only way you can do that is to play songs from different eras that will work, and when you leave there, you feel like you just got off a time machine or something.